welcome to another layout process video. And what have I got installed today? Now, I have to let you know, this one I sped it up a bit because I was just playing. You know when you want to sit down and just scrap for the sake of scrapping? Well, I wanted to play with mixed media and be really specific with it. So, you know, sometimes I do a layout and I just spray some sprays on, or I, just slap on a bit of mixed media. This one I wanted to be quite specific. So I used my Crafters Workshop light and fluffy modeling paste. That's what I'm doing here. Now this stencil I picked up from Kmart forever ago, and to be honest, I've never actually used it until today. They're tiny little roses, and it's just like you can see there. So what I did is I measured the 6-inch mark all the way around the layout, so I could line up the point, and I could line up the point of where the stencil sits, so that way I could sort of create a little bit of a rose arrow is sort of where my head was going with it. So I think it comes out pretty good. I was really happy with it. Now this particular layout I actually made over a 2-day period, believe it or not, just in and out doing different things. And yeah, so I put this down, I put this texture paste down because I knew that I had this idea in my head. And you know what I'm like, when I get an idea in my head, I have to keep working with it until that idea is on paper, so I can make way for another idea. Now, I love to scrapbook. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Hi, how's it going? Basically, I don't scrap from a sketch. I don't scrap lift people. I don't do all that sort of stuff. I like to scrap with what's in my head. And to be honest with you, I have a plethora of ideas in my head at any given point. Currently, I think I've got 2 or 3 A5 pages of ideas that I've just written down for 2023. So, I mean, the ideas are just thick and fast here on Create with Karen. So if you're looking for inspiration that maybe you haven't seen anywhere before, you know, maybe it's a different take on what you've seen, because, you know, we all need different places to get inspiration from. So that is what I'm doing here. Now I've pulled out my distress inks. Normally I go straight for my oxides. When I'm ink blending, I like to use my distress oxide inks because they are a combination of a dye and a pigment ink, and they stay wetter longer, they're creamier, and they blend a lot easier. So that's when I lean for those. But when I'm doing a mixed media and I want it to be transparent, I reach for my distress inks. Now, what colors have I reached for? I have pulled out, by the end of this, I have pulled out Villainous Potion, Salty Ocean. So Salty Ocean, Mermaid Lagoon, and Broken China are the blues. And the purples are Villainous Potion, Wilted Violet, and Seedless Preserves. I did do a little bit of Wilted Violet, and I ended up going over it with Villainous Potion because it just wasn't bold enough for me. So the other thing I'm doing here is I pulled out my LYNDYS Magicals. Now the LYNDYS Magicals are exactly what they say they are. They are magical. I like them. I love how bold they are. I love the fact that there's glitter involved, like all the shines and shimmers. I like to do my mixed media, like if I'm doing something like this, I'm trying to go for a dark blue in the center and then do purple top and bottom. That's where my head's going with this layout. But see, I'm being very, very specific where I put the colors because I wanted to try and have the roses stand out from the color. Does that make sense? So this is the Wilted Violet that I'm putting down. It's just not bold enough to hold its own when it comes to this particular layout. It's a beautiful color and I love it. It's just not quite enough. Like, see how the blue is way more bold? Like, it just, once I dried it down, it just disappeared. To be completely honest. Now, I did forget to mention, this is on Vicky Bouton's Foundations paper. I have not put gesso on this page at all. The only thing I've put down is the texture paste. And can you see how that distress ink just completely disappeared? So that's when I pulled out the Seedless Preserves and I went, okay, we've got to go with the... I always try and lean with the lightest color first because I can always make it darker, but making it lighter is a lot harder. So I always lean and err on the side of caution sort of thing, but it just, yeah, it comes together. Trust me, stick with me. This is sped up big time because this is just a process. You can take as much time as you like to do this. You can do this for the sake of the video. I've sped it right up, but I was literally enjoying watching the colors run between the texture roses, and the fact that it was highlighting them, I loved that. It was, and the thing is, when we scrapbook, sometimes that's what we need. We need a bit of zen time, you know, and that's what I like to do. See how you can see the darker line in and around the rose? It works, but then as it dries down, it's not quite so bold. The texture paste is going to take on the color of whatever you're putting on top of it, whether it's the LYNDYS Magicals or whether it's the oxides, whether it's distress inks, paint, all of that, it will take it on. So you're probably thinking, why didn't you just do the texture paste at the end? Because you can't, because it sucks the color up into it. Because these are water reactive inks, they, every time you wet them, they will reactivate. So hence I was trying to go around. It looks, look, I'm happy with it in the end. These LYNDYS Magicals. So I used PRIMA DONNA, which is the purple, and SASSY Sapphire, which is the blue. So now I'm just going all out. I'm just pulling out. I did get a smaller brush because Villainous Potion, if you don't have it, to compare to the other purples, she's dark, mate. Whew. The color payoff is unbelievable. So I pulled out a thinner brush and I took my, I just took my time with it because I didn't want to just go to town and go too crazy, too full on. But in the end, I end up just giving into it and going with it. And to be honest, I enjoyed both sides of the process. Now remember, I'm going to have my photos through the middle piece there. That's why I haven't put any product there. It's a waste of putting product there because it's going to be hidden. So it's coming along. It's coming along nicely. I am using my paper towel to sort of try and keep the roses from just being a big purple smush. So I just came in and you can see I'm using a piece of plastic packaging over on my right hand side. I know it seems wasteful that I keep wiping it and then putting more ink on it, but it's important to do that so you don't cross contaminate your ink pad. So you don't want to add water to your ink pads because, well, that's just going to kill them. So don't do it. Or you do you with yours, but I don't like doing that with mine. I think all my mixed media that I use is an investment in my craft, an investment in this channel because, you know, I want to bring you content that you are able to recreate. And being able to recreate means you can use similar products, but if you want to purchase the exact products, I want to be able to show you exactly what they look like. So cross-contaminating them is just, well, that's not going to work, is it? So what else can I tell you about this layout? I'm scrapbooking 2 4x6 photos. I've joined them together and I have overlapped them slightly just to sort of shrink them down a bit so you can see more of the roses. And in true Karen style, I have I've pulled in some black cardstock, and I absolutely love how this layout turns out. It's so simple. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes simple is better. Simple is beautiful, and you can pull it off, not a problem at all. Are there probably better ways to do it? Yeah, probably. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's just fun. Just have fun with it. Have fun, enjoy it, and if you enjoy mixed media, now you can see with this one, I'm not making a big mess. This is one that I didn't go crazy with splattering everywhere and all. I do add a few little sprinkles to the sides just here, but it's nothing dramatic. And my photos are nowhere in sight, so the splatters are only on, they're 100% only on the page, and they're not everywhere, which is the reason I don't like splatters, because the controlled splatter thing just doesn't work for me if it's just all over the place. Now, this week, we have a public holiday this week, so I'm considering doing another live maybe on Anzac Day. If anyone's interested in it, it won't be until the afternoon though. So let me know in the comments below if that's something that you would be interested in joining. I'm thinking afternoon for me. So if you check my times, so I'm Queensland time, Queensland, Australia time. If I go with 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then hopefully I get a bit of a crossover between countries where people might be, they're finished dinner or whatever, and maybe I'm sort of wondering if that's a good time slot. Let me know below if you're interested in that, either playing along or just, I mean, who knows? I mean, you guys may not be interested in having a overseas. If you obviously don't have a public holiday for Anzac Day. New Zealand, you probably have a public holiday for Anzac Day too, because that's what Anzac stands for. So Aussie and New Zealand. So, what am I going to do? Now, I know this seems like I've taken forever and I'm just doing this process. Trust me, stick with me for another minute or so, and then I bring the layout together. So this is where I go, you know what? That's it. Just stop dilly-daddling around with it. I had a real issue with my new Fiskars. This is my new trimmer, and I couldn't get the arm to come up. And I got to say, not happy. It's a brand new one. So I do need to change the blade in it though. I have run over a couple of different things and texture paste, etc., and your blades don't like that, but I do it all the time. It's shocking, but that's all right. So we're off to an AFL game today with Angela, so that should be fun. Let's hope there's no injuries. So injuries are as a mum of girls that play sport, injuries are my biggest concern. I don't like breakages, broken fingers. I don't like broken collarbones. My kids, I tell you, they're driving me grey. Have your kids done that to you? Have you ended up with lots of broken bones from children? The other thing I wanted to mention, guys, this is all coming together now, and it's all going to come together nice and quick for you. The other thing I wanted to mention is we're up to 1,466 subscribers. So as of the time of recording this video. So if I'm really hoping we can hit 1,500. So in May, we can have a good giveaway. So what the giveaway is going to be, it's going to be the earnings that I have earned for the month of April. And I am going to give that cash straight back to you guys. So I'm going to split it in half. And the way it's going to work is $50 Australian. So I'm going to specifically say that. $50 Australian is going to be what you receive. So I will shoot it off to you in whatever country it's in, and I will do that. That is not a problem. However, the cash exchange rate may affect the actual dollar value in your bank account. But I'm going to have $50 cash giveaway, and then I'm going to have a $25 second prize. So there's going to be 2 prizes, 50 or 25. So first and second, and it's going to be, so all you have to do to be in the running for it is like all the applicable videos for the time frame. Once we hit 1500, everything from there onwards for a set period of time in the time of May, and then I will have the results posted on the Facebook group, and I will also post the results in a post on YouTube. So send your friends over if they haven't been, they haven't seen much of Create with Karen and scrapbooking and what we do over here. Send them over, get them to like, subscribe, comment, all that sort of fun stuff, and it all helps me be able to bring you more content. So what I'm doing here, these are the thickers. They're the Fernwood Fernwood thickers, and they are finish that sentence. I went blank for a second. Did you hear that? Crickets. Okay, so basically they have a black line and they're hollow. So you can, and they're blank, sorry. And you can fill in the blank inside. So you can color them and make them any color you like. And I think they're fantastic. I decided to pull out my distress watercolors. I know I went down a rabbit hole with these and I used them for like so many layouts in a row. So I've backed off and I'm making sure that I share all my supplies and they all get a go in front of the camera. So I decided I'd pull them out because I figured it would be the easiest way. But in true Karen style, I'm not just going to colour them in one colour. Why do that? That would be easy, right? So I decided that I would colour them in, and I used Salty Ocean, I used Seedless Preserves in the centre, and then on the bottom I used Villainous Potion. And I just used the teeniest tiny bit. My brush is damp. It's not wet. It's damp. And it just blends it together beautifully. And you've got a nice seamless looking title. And it matches the colours perfectly, which is something I have a big thing with. If I'm going to use... this is why I have the Distress Oxide, the Distress Oxide sprays, the Distress inks, and the Distress watercolor pencils, because they're all the same color. They're all the same color. They may vary slightly in how they look because of the formula, but they're all the same color. And I know it's got a black line around it, but I want it to be just a little bit more bold so it would stand out. So I went around it with my Posca 0.7mm paint pen and in black, and I absolutely love it. Look how bold they are. They're so cool. So sometimes when I'm not feeling the need to use my Cricut and create a title, I love using titles like this. I love how they come together. So, and I like putting my titles on wax paper so I can position them and figure out where to start putting them down. I know the word beautiful, you wouldn't normally start with the T, right? But because the T, I knew I wanted to line up under the I in smile. That helps me get my bearings with how the word's going to sit. So that was that. And then, of course, I had to have some bling. I know I've got the LYNDYS Magicals there. I know there's that glitter going on, which is fantastic, and I absolutely love that. But the flip side of that is I still want some actual shiny bits, or these ones are from ALINA Crafts online, and they are super duper affordable. And I like the fact that they're affordable because I'm able to just literally throw loads of it on a layout, and I'm not worried about the fact that it's going to break the bank to replace it. So I've got a heap of different colors, and I absolutely love how they look when they're on my layout. So I grabbed some blues and I grabbed some purples just to, obviously, I had a bit of a situation here. I ended up, one lid popped open. These are not the best containers, I can tell you right now. I am definitely going to look for better containers. I like the fact that they're small for storage, but I hate the fact that it's so hard to get the lid open. So I think I'm going to swap them out into a different container. Now, what do we got? So I was just adding these cute little embellishments, adding them all on, and then I came in with some NUVO GLACIA paste in winter white. Now I know there's already, now you don't normally put glacier paste on your hand, and just FYI, it's really hard to get off when it dries. Just FYI. I quite often put things on the edge of my hand because it keeps it warm and it stops it drying out. That's, to be honest, that is why I do it. And if it's on the top side of my hand, I'm less likely to drag my arm through it and drag it onto the page. So all I'm doing is adding some nice highlighty bits on top of where the stencil is, so you can sort of see the roses a little tiny bit more. I just really wanted them to be more white, but that's okay. So we use reflection. That works. So this is my layout, guys. I do run a quick border around the outside with my Posca paint pen. I know I've got the black. I'm just enjoying doing borders like this at the moment. I haven't done them like this for a while, and to be completely honest with you, I absolutely loved it. And my pen was dying at this point, so I was struggling to do my little did-it bits on the, I call them did-it bits, I don't know what you call them, squiggles. I was struggling with that. So this is my layout, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. I'm sorry for it taking so long, but it was just one of those process videos that were fun, and you could sort of just give it a crack, give it a go, pull out a busy looking stencil and give it a go. It looks really pretty up close, and you can have a look at all the photos over on the Facebook group and or on Instagram. And don't forget to send your friends over to like, subscribe, comment, all that sort of stuff, so we can have a giveaway in May. Thank you so much. And I was considering doing something slightly different here, and then I went, nope, leave it alone. Stop. Don't touch. It's all done. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll chat to you again soon. Bye for now.